Dear Diary, today's hot topic is on religion. So I gotta ask, religion, why make everyone the same? Insane how we are all unique, yet stains the same around paths that never crossed. The minds are separate, but sane eyes stay glossed. With the same hate for those that try to exhaust narrow definitions that permafrost centuries lost, yet echoes hasn't sought the promised return, deceived flocks left in droughts. Prayers, especially on holy days, thinking rain and rays will bring blasphemies. Twisted thinking brings blasphemy. Thicken rains and rays, just limit your praise, not for all, but those that display the same. Hello, it's Lotus Ubax, and welcome to Healing with Yoga and Creativity. As you can tell by that little poem intro, today we'll be exploring a hot topic, which is religion. Anyhow, I thought that it would be good to compare at least a couple of verses with just read the first few verses, like al-Baqarah. Apparently that means the cow, and the cow is like one of the longest surahs, verses that was sent down. Like, god damn, it just keeps going and going and going and going and going and going, like over 286 verses just in that one chapter, surah, or whatever you want to call. Obviously, we're not going to read this whole shit. Like, I mean, I got time for that. No, I just got to keep scrolling and scrolling. God damn, let's go all the way to the top. Holy shit, this is forever. God damn, that's taking too long. Let's just jump back that way. Anyway, I thought it would be a good idea to compare the Yoga Sutras of what's in it with what's in the Quran, because I am studying the Yoga Sutras, and honestly, it is very beautiful. This is my humble opinion, okay? The Quran, I don't think it's beautiful. Again, this is my humble opinion, and we'll see why. So let's start off with reading the Quran. We're gonna put a timer on, so we'll do probably 3 minutes and 33 seconds to read as much verses of the cow. So let's start. Alif Lam Mim. Don't know what that means. This is the book. There is no doubt about it. A guide for those mindful of Allah, who believe in the unseen, establish prayer, and donate from what we have provided them, and who believe in what has been revealed to you, O Prophet. Oh gosh, air show, fuck that. O Prophet, what has revealed before you, and have sure faith in the hereafter. I hope I can, sorry, but they're deciding to do friggin' warplane demonstration shit for friggin' Air Canada Day or some shit, Labor Day. Anyways, it is those who are truly guided by their Lord, and it is those who will be successful. As for those who persist in disbelief, yeah, girl, it is the same whether you warn them or not. They will never believe. Of course, we will never believe what was told. Hello. And I also feel like this is like self-fulfilling prophecy. Allah has sealed their hearts and their earrings and their sights covered. They will suffer tremendous punishment. Again, religion of fear. And there are some who say, we believe in Allah and the last day, yet they are not true believers. They seek to deceive Allah and the disbelievers, yet they only deceive themselves, but they fail to perceive it. There is a sickness in their hearts, and only Allah only lets their sickness increase. They will suffer a painful punishment for their lies. When they are told, "Do not spread corruption in this land," they reply, "We are only peacemakers." Indeed, it is those who are corrupters, but they fail to perceive it. And when they are told, "Believe as others believe," they reply, "We believe as the fools believe." Indeed, it is those who are fools, but they do not know. Again, insecurity. Apparently, this is being sent to Muhammad as revelation. And when they meet believers, they say, "We believe." But when they are alone with their evil associates, they say, "We are definitely with you. We are only mocking." Allah will throw their mockery back at them, leaving them to continue wandering blindly in their defiance. They are the ones who trade guidance for misguidance, but trade is profitless, and they are not rightly guided. Their example is that of someone who kindles a fire, but when it lights up all around them, Allah takes away their light, leaving them in complete darkness, unable to see. All right, so that is time. Let's stop. I got to verse 17. Let's just read two more. They are willfully deaf, dumb, and blind, so they'll never return to the right path. Okay, you are insulting us. Why would we want to believe now? Or those caught in a rainstorm from the sky with darkness, thunder, and lightning. They press their fingers into their ears at the sound of every thunderclap for fear of death. Are you afraid of lightning, sir? Are you afraid of thunder? And Allah encompassed the disbeliever by his might. It is as if the lightning were about to snatch away their sight. Whenever lightning strikes, they walk in its light. But when darkness covers them, they stand still. Had Allah willed, he could have taken away their hearing and sight. Allah is most capable of everything. What the fuck did I just read? Seriously, big brother, what the fuck is that? Seriously, Somalis, like, this is what y'all believe in? Oh, humanity, worship your Lord who created you and those before you so that you become mindful of him. All right, so we're going to put a pause there and we'll do 3 minutes of the Yoga Sutras. So that way you guys could see just how vastly different these so-called books of wisdom are. So let's put 3 minutes on the clock, please. All right. It starts off with verse number 1. Here begins the authoritative instructions on yoga. Okay, simple. Yoga is the ability to direct the mind exclusively towards an object and sustain that direction without any distraction. The ability to understand that object fully and correctly is apparent. The ability to understand the object is simply replaced by the mind's conception of that object or by a total lack of comprehension. There are 5 activities of the mind. Each of them can be beneficial and each can cause their own problem. Again, very mental health. So the 5 activities are comprehension, misapprehension, imagination, deep sleep, and memory. Comprehension is based on direct observation of the object, inference, and reference to reliable authorities. Misapprehension is that comprehension that is taken to be correct until more favorable conditions reveal the actual nature of the object. Imagination is the comprehension of an object based only on words and expression, even though the object is absent. And deep sleep is when the mind is overcome with heaviness and no other activities are present. Memory is the mental retention of conscious experience. The mind can reach the state of yoga through practice and detachment. Practice is basically the correct effort required to move towards each, to move towards to move towards reach and maintain the state of yoga. It is only when the correct practice is followed for a long time without interruption and with a quality of positive attitude and eagerness that it can succeed. At the highest level, there is an absence of any craving, either, was that the, yeah, at the highest level, there is an absence of any craving, either the fulfillment of sense of extraordinary experiences. When an individual has achieved a complete understanding of his or herself, her true self, he will no longer be disturbed by the distracting influences within and around him. Then the object is gradually understood fully. At first it is at more superficial level. In time, comprehension becomes deeper, and finally it is total. There is pure joy in reaching such a depth understanding. And from then the individual is so much at one with the object that he is oblivious to the surroundings. So yeah, so that is 3 minutes. And let's compare those two. That was really crazy because the Yoga Sutra literally starts off with telling you what yoga is, and then gets into the mental health side of life. I have tons of notes on it, and so let's see what my notes are. So from first, number 2, let's ride back. What is yoga? So yoga is the ability to direct the mind exclusively towards an object and sustain that direction without any distraction. And so I am a reader, and I like to think, what does that mean? And so the ability to direct the mind, I see it, and without any distractions. What is distractions? I see distraction as ADHD, because your girl has a lot of distraction going on. She could be focused on one thing, and then something like a freaking warplane flying over, I get distracted. But the point of yoga is the ability to get to a point where things outside of us won't distract us. And then when we compare to the very first verse of this of the Quran, let's back up. It says Alif Lam Mim. I don't know what that means. Nobody knows what that means. But then he goes like, this is the book. There's no doubt about it. A guide for those who are mindful of Allah. You haven't sold me. This is the first I'm reading about this book. Okay. And who believe in the unseen, establish prayer, and donate. Again, what does this have to do with life? Whereas the Yoga Sutra, it's literally like, oh, this is what yoga is. It's an ability to direct the mind. And then what I really like is that, like, where was it? The ability to understand an object through being aware of it. And then from there, it lists the 5 activities of the mind. Nothing about the mind has been listed here, or even about mental health. Instead, there's a lot of fear. Those who believe will be saved from the hereafter, but those who don't believe, you're going to hell. Whereas the Yoga Sutra is like, no, there are 5 activities of the mind. Each of them can be beneficial or they could be bad. And what I liked about it, it's you could literally see these 5 things in real life. So comprehension is the way. So the 5 things are comprehension, misapprehension, imagination, deep sleep, and memory. And again, the Yoga Sutra is much, much, much older than the Quran. The Quran came less than 1500 years ago, whereas this beauty was over 5,000, some say 10,000 years ago. So 10,000 years ago, we had this shit on lock. We knew what the mind does, but also we knew about just how much mental health was tied to it. And that's what yoga was trying to do. And so comprehension is based on looking at it. So it's what you see, you know? And then misapprehension is when you think you understand something, but it turns out, hey, you didn't understand it all. But what really, really got me was the deep sleep. So deep sleep is when the mind is overcome with heaviness and no other activity is present. So sleep is a common, so it goes like sleep could be common, but there's also the heaviness to it. And so when I'm seeing this, I'm not seeing it as like deep sleep as in slumber. I'm seeing it as way beyond that, where it could be also about depression too, because when the mind is depressed, it gets so heavy and that there's no other activities going around that. And so I was like, shit, these yogis are really smart. And the fact that like it tells you, like, what was my notes? So how yoga aims to break this deep sleep. So deep sleep flows from imagination, but this is bad because depression, it's giving ruminating thoughts, low energy. You are essentially awake, but in this deep slumber, i.e., you are numb to your feelings, homegirl. And then my note is saying how yoga aims to break this deep sleep, and memory is next. And so memory is the mental retention of conscious experience. So as you know, your girl's memory is done for. She had a lot of bad memories thanks to Islam. And memories of the past, they could impact us and leads us into our deep sleep as an adult. Yeah, so anyone who is depressed, I highly, highly recommend getting into yoga. Just start moving. And so the mind can reach a state of yoga through practice and detachment. And 20 verses into this, nothing about the mind, a lot of shit about if you don't believe, God's gonna judge you. If you don't believe, he's gonna seal your heart and cover your eyes. So we'll just do 3 more minutes of each and we'll call it a day. So he is the one who has made the earth a place of settlement for you and the sky a canopy. Again, you can tell this. Do I need a book to tell me this? Sending down rain from the sky, causing fruits to grow as provisions for you. Again, we know earth provides for us. What is Muhammad thinking, that this is some divine revelation that you could just look around, not know? Hello? So do not knowingly set up equals to Allah in worship. And if you are in doubt about what we have revealed to our servant, then produce a surah like this and call your helpers other than Allah if what you say is true. Like, what the hell? But if you're unable to do so, you'll never be able to do so. Then fear the fire fueled with people and stones, which is prepared for the disbeliever. Again, this is why it's called a religion of fear. In my experience, it's been a religion of fear. I'm sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. That line just pissed me off. Give good news, O prophet, to those who believe. Do good, and they will have gardens under which rivers flow. Whenever provided with fruits, they will say, this is what we were given before. For they will be served fruit that looks similar but tastes different. And they will have pure spouses, and they will be there forever. Again, this is describing Jannah, I'm guessing. Heaven, this is what heaven is. Surely Allah does not shy away from using the parable of a mosquito, or what is even smaller. As for the believers, They know that it is the truth from their Lord. And as for the disbelievers, they argue, what does Allah mean by such parable? Through this test, he leaves many to astray and guides many, and he leaves none to stray except the rebellious, those who violate Allah's covenant after it has been affirmed, break whatever ties Allah has ordered to maintain, and spread corruption in the land. It is those who are true losers. How can you deny Allah? You were lifeless and he gave you life. And then he will cause you to die and again bring you to life. And then to him you will all be returned. He is the one who created everything in this earth for you. And then he turned towards the heaven, forming it in 7 heavens. This triggered a memory. He has perfect knowledge of all things. So this is where the 7th heaven comes from. Remember when your Lord said to the angels, I am going to place successive human authority on earth. They ask, Allah? Will you place it in someone who will spread corruption there and shed blood while we glorify your praises and proclaim your holiness? That's what they're doing. Allah responded, I know what you do not know. Okay. And that is time. Let's just finish this up. He taught Adam the names of all things, and then he presented them to the angels and said, tell me the names of these if what you say is true. They reply, glory be to you. We have no knowledge except what you have taught us. You are truly the all-knowing and all-wise. What have you taught me? I don't know. Allah said, O Adam, inform them of their names. Then when Adam did, Allah said, did I not tell you that I know the secrets of the heaven and the earth, and I know what you reveal and what you conceal? And remember when we said to the angels, prostrate before Adam. So they all did, but Iblis is the devil, rock with him, who refused and acted arrogantly, becoming unfaithful. We cautioned, O Adam, live with your life in paradise. Eat as freely as you please, but do not approach this tree, or else you'll be wrongdoers. Again, he's ripping this off of Christianity. But Satan deceived them, leading to their fall from the blissful state that they were in. We said, descend from the heavens to earth as enemies to each other. You will find in the earth a residence, a provision for you to stay. Okay, we're gonna stop there. What the fuck? First off, what I was laughing at was this line about the 7 heaven. So he forming into 7 heaven. I remember being taught as a kid that there is 7 heavens, and every Muslim is trying to achieve the highest heaven. And me as a child was like, I'm okay with the bottom heaven. Like, what are you gonna do? All you guys are gonna be at the top and looking down at me, being like, hi, we're on number 7. Well, you're on the bottom floor. Like, it was so bougie. And with me being a child, I was like, I don't believe in this shit, but I'll settle for the bottom heaven. I don't care. I'm not striving to go all the way to the top and wear a jilbab and pray 5 times a day and memorize this Quran in fear just to attain number 7. No. Anyway, I laughed at that. And then this just sounds really hilarious, like nothing applicable in my life. Whereas yoga, let's continue. Let's do 3 minutes. I put 3 minutes on the clock. So where did we stop? So the usual mental disturbance are absent. However, memories of the past continue. There will be some who are born in a state of yoga. They need not practice or discipline themselves. Yeah, those are lucky. When I read that, I'm thinking that these are loved human beings that weren't fucking traumatized. Through faith, which will give sufficient energy to achieve success against all odds. Direction will be maintained. Then realization of the goal of yoga is a matter of time. The more intense the faith and the effort, the closer to the goal. Inevitably, the depth of faith varies with different individuals and at different times with the same individual. The results will reflect these variations. Offering regular prayers to God with a feeling of submission to His power surely enables the state of yoga to be achieved. He knows everything that there is to be known. God is eternal. In fact, He is the ultimate teacher. He is the source of guidance for all teachers, past, present, and future. In the ways most appropriate to the qualities of God. In order to relate to God, it is necessary to regularly address Him properly and reflect His qualities. The individual will in time perceive his true nature. He will not be disturbed by any interruptions that may arise in his journey to the state of yoga. There are nine types of interruptions to developing mental clarity: illness, mental stagnation, doubt, lack of foresight, fatigue, overindulgence, illusions about one's true state of mind, lack of perseverance, and regression. They are obstacles because they create mental disturbances and encourage distraction. Again, this is literally mental health. All these interruptions produce one or more of the following symptoms: mental discomfort, negative thinking, the inability to be at ease in different body postures, and difficulty in controlling one's breath. Goddamn. If one can select an appropriate means to study the mind and practice this, whatever the provocation, the interruptions cannot take root. In daily life, we see people around who are happier than we are, people who are less happy. Some may be doing praiseworthy things and others causing problems. Whatever may be our usual attitude towards such people and their action, if we can be pleased with others who are happier than ourselves, compassionate towards those who are unhappy, and joyful with doing praiseworthy things, and remain undisturbed by the errors of others, our mind will be very tranquil. Again, this is a lot of mental health. The practice of breathing exercise involves extended exhalations and might be helpful. So let's put a pause on there. Wow. Comparing those two, it's insane. It's insane because this one's literally trying to tell you what life is and the different struggles that we as individuals go through. Where was it? So it's telling us we have to be godlike and we have to be consistent. But what I really, really liked is this part, that there are 9 types of interruptions to developing mental clarity. So if you want mental clarity, i.e. not being traumatized, not carrying CPTSD or whatever, these are the 9 interruptions that prevent us from developing this. Number 1, illness. Number 2, mental stagnation, doubts, lack of foresight, i.e. not thinking clearly, fatigue, overindulgence, illusions about one's true state of mind, i.e. when you're traumatized, you don't know anything, and a lack of perseverance, i.e. not being committed, and then regression, going backwards. They are obstacles that create mental disturbance and they encourage distraction. So nothing like this has been talked about in the Quran. The Quran is just literally fear, saying, oh, disbelievers, you're not going to get into heaven if you don't do this, but don't worry, believers, you be good and you listen to what I'm saying, i.e. this is a cult. This is what cult does. But you'll get a promise, nothing like this. So And I really like, in our daily life, we see people around us who are happier than we are, people who are less happy, and some may be doing praiseworthy things and others causing problems. Like, we can see this in society now. Like, you know, we see happy folks, we see billionaires who have money, but they're fucking heartbroken. Like, look at Elon Musk, look at freaking Jeff Bezos and his ugly ass wife, like with all that money, she did all of that, you know. So like, these are people who have money that we think that have, they're successful, but their outer state is ugly. And this is what it's talking about. So like, some, whatever may be our usual attitude towards such people and their action, if we can be pleased with others who are happier than ourselves, compassionate towards those who are unhappy. I guess I have to be compassionate to billionaires. Fuck, no, I ain't being no compassionate to no goddamn billionaires. um Compassion towards those who are unhappy, joyful with those doing praiseworthy things, and remain undisturbed by the errors of others. Yeah, it's insane how beautiful this Yoga Sutra is and how traumatizing this fucking Al-Baqarah is. And I've only gotten to first 235. Yeah, so again, this is crazy. I think I kind of like comparing the Yoga Sutras to Quran. I'm gonna make this a regular series and just record myself, but I'm gonna try to keep it a bit shorter because this is getting too long, mama. I don't know how many people are gonna watch this, let alone how, if I want to edit, excuse me, if I want to edit an hour-long video. I fucking don't, so we'll be putting it there. So thank you for watching. We'll put a pause on here. I left off at 134 on the Yoga Sutras, and I left off at 235 on the Quran. Yeah, and this is why I am on the path of yoga, because I am healing, hence the whole name, Healing with Yoga and Creativity. This is what's been helping me. And I am Lotus Ubax signing off. I hope you like that chaotic interpretation of reading the Quran and comparing it to the Yoga Sutras. Shout out to the Hindus, they know what they're doing. Yeah, so thank you for watching. Peace.